How's it going, everybody? Jodian here, and welcome back. For those of you who have either just joined us or have been following this No Man's Sky solo series, we ended off in episode 14, and it has been a while. It's been a while since that episode published. Um, about a month, in fact. It was December 31st, I believe, is when that video was posted, and I mentioned that there was going to be a pause, and of course there was. After that, where are we? Okay, jeepers. Okay, after that episode hit, we had two short series. I believe one was 5 episodes, one was 3 episodes of No Man's Sky that were based on expeditions. We had the Relics expedition and the Corvette expedition. And then after that, I'm just giving my system here a couple minutes to smarten up. And then after that, I started a Palworld series, which I told you was going to be alternated between Palworld and this No Man's Sky solo series. So I've done, I did, 11 episodes of the Palworld series. Those are currently, as I record this, those are currently showing up on my channel. I believe I have them set to 2-day increments, which gives me time to record some more No Man's Sky content. So that's the way this situation or this setup has been arranged. There's going to be Palworld episodes, and then there's going to be No Man's Sky episodes. And while the Palworld episodes are showing up on my page, that's when I'm going to be recording the No Man's Sky episodes. And then when the No Man's Sky episodes show up on my channel, that's when I'm going to be recording the Palworld, the next series of Palworld episodes. So they're going to alternate back and forth, just to kind of give a break, so to speak. You do get tired, and most gamers who play more than one game can attest that you do get tired of playing the same game over and over again. So it's nice to be able to alternate. It's nice to go from one game to another, even though these are both technically survival games. They are entirely different. Palworld is a surface-based survival game with where you're focused on base building, and you're focused on building up a team of NPCs, the pals. Whereas this game is more solo. This game is more solo oriented. It's mostly now about building ships. It used to be about building bases, but now it's more about building ships, because now you take your base with you, basically, and progressing through the story, and doing a lot of adventuring throughout a galaxy, an open galaxy. Palworld, you stick to one planet. This one, you're navigating a galaxy, and in this one, you're flying ships, and the other one, you don't. You're mostly on foot or riding something, like riding a PAL. So they are two completely different games, even though they're both survival games, and that kind of mixes it up and gives me a bit of a break between the two experiences. So anyway, we are back with our No Man's Sky experience. And I know that took about 5 minutes of our time here, just wandering around talking. But let's face it, you don't just come to my video for game. If you came to my video just to see the game and not to hear me, then you wouldn't be here. You'd be on somebody else's video. So I do appreciate that I am part of the content you come here to see. And I do like to keep you informed, keep you up to date. I do like to think of this channel as, our channel. Even though I am the I am the master and commander here, so to speak. So, we want to locate a portal. We'll have to talk to the runes here. And the runes are gonna yada yada yada. And, oh, we can just go locate a portal. Okay. Because it's part of the... Oh, this is ley lines. Yes. So we gotta locate the portal. So we have another target. It's over there. So we have to go over there now. This is the one thing that does annoy me in No Man's Sky, is when they have you go to one location and then pretty much as soon as you get there, they send you to another location that's way out of range, like it's way off in the distance. It's like, oh, hop out of your ship, do one thing, hop back in your ship, fly, 5 minutes to another location. Hop out of your ship, do one thing. It'd be nice if you actually had to do some exploring or something when you were at that location. And I'm not talking about landing near a target and then using your scanner to narrow down the target. I'm talking about like land and explore ruins or something like that. Like go into a building and wander around the building for a little bit. That would be nicer than the stop and go, bounce here, bounce there kind of gameplay. But, it is No Man's Sky, and that's how they do it. No Man's Sky, and they must be doing something right, because we keep coming back to this game. Or at least I do. Well, others do too. But, yeah. You get what I'm saying. You're picking up what I'm putting down. I know you are. Okay, so we're gonna get over here, and with any luck, the portal will be right here. It's not gonna do the, go find it because we're not at it. Nonsense. The portal is right here. You will bring her to a stop. We're just gonna beam down this time, or drop down, as it were. Park it. Exit it, and away we go. Where are you? That way. Ah, whee! Okay. Don't you dare have me... Oh, I gotta charge the glyphs. You bastard. Carbon, sodium, cobalt, and copper. Carbon, sodium, cobalt, copper. Yeah, bastard. Carbon, sodium, cobalt, and copper. There's copper. Well, I can use cadmium too. Cobalt. Do I have carbon? Do I have a lot of carbon? I have a lot of sodium. Where's my carbon? There we go. No, that's oxygen. Where's carbon? There's carbon. 1, 2, 3. I think it's only 4. I think it was only the 4. I hope it's not 5. I thought it was only 4. We'll go back down and look. Okay. Please tell me I've got everything I need to activate this thing. Carbon, sodium, cobalt, copper. I should go back to carbon. Yeah, carbon, sodium, cobalt, copper. Can I was wondering if there's a quicker way. Apparently not. Actually, what happens if I do that now? It still doesn't. I thought maybe if I clicked on the one, or maybe if I put it in the one that wasn't. Ugh. That's so annoying to have to do that all the time. Alright. Anomaly events contained. Bullshit. Bullshit! We are far from contained. We are nowhere near contained. We are so far off of containment. Back to the Hollow Terminus. So this is why in this game I honestly stop and just do other stuff for a while. Gravitational anomaly detected? Where? It's a gravitational anomaly? Not here there ain't. Not here in my ship up in space there ain't. The only gravitational anomaly up here is me. Me and my anti-gravity. Ha ha ha. My artificial gravity. Thing that makes me walk upside right when my entire ship is upside down. Don't believe me? Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Coming in. Coming in. Oh, it wants me to search? Get wrecked. Hold on. I gotta find the Hollow Terminus first. It won't be hard to spot. It should be right around here somewhere. There it is. Alright. Here we go. Is it gonna flip me upside right? We'll see. We'll find out in a second. Is it gonna leave and let me out of the seat? Oh, it will. Ha ha! Ha ha ha! It flipped upside right. Did it flip upside right? Yeah, it flipped upside right. But, you saw, I was standing upside down for a minute. But I wasn't upside down. The ship was upside down. Ah! Hi! You are oddly strange, but kind of cool. I wonder if I collect these. I wonder. These are ferrite dust if you collect them, but I wonder if these are like baby those. No, I can't think that. Oh shit! Yeah, gravitational anomaly. All right, I almost launched myself into orbit. Look at that. Whee! Oh yeah, a little bit of thrust goes a long way. Woo! I like this planet. Can we have this low gravity on like a regular planet? Because that would be fun. Apollo. Yes, I found the glyphs. Hired a Gek to look after my farm? Yeah, okay. I found the glyphs. I'm not going to worry about your farm. I do not know if the portals are safe, but we'll give them the glyphs anyway. Take care. Alright. Find out what I can from Null. Okay. Can we tune Null in? Is Null going to be here? Oh, it's going to auto-tune? There we go. Auto-tune. Gives a new meaning to the term. Two lost souls, one who cares too much, one who cared too little. Those have not become what was promised, have they? Oh, I did. Once upon a time, I was angry, confused at my own solitude. Imagine my surprise when you woke me. Uh-huh. Oh, you didn't mean to. I know you were just playing around with portals. Whatever you did, I'm here now, and I need your help. Really? It's not what you think it is. Something is happening to the universe. Something I need your help to figure out. Why? Sentinels do not keep peace across the universe. Their motives run deeper than that, seeking out anomalies in the most. Eliminating them. Oh, have you looked at me? What do you think a Sentinel would do if they came across my form? No, it has to be you. Are you serious? I could make myself look like you too. It's called going to a visual adjuster. You know, why don't you just go to one of those? They have them all over the universe. Every single space station, you can go adjust your appearance. Don't get on me for that, jackass. Observatory nearby. Okay, that's one stop. It'll lead you to the location of a crashed freighter. That's 2 stops. There we'll find the secret, I'm sure of it. And then I'll have to come back to here. That's another 3 stops. Yeah, this is neither enemy nor friend to us. No more than the air or the wind might call such names, but it's terrified, it's in pain, and we have a responsibility to help. It's suffering no matter the cost. Yeah, okay. Ugh, God. Are we done? Are we done here? You gonna go blank? Blank, blank. Does that mean we're done? Did our gravity? I think our gravity field either slowed down or something. Yep, sure did. That's okay. I'm good with that. We'll just dig a hole and collect this up. Because why not? We like salvage data. Alright, let's get off this purple rock. Or maybe not, because I think it's going to send us to another part of this purple rock. Here we go! Off again! I should probably go check out my video. What do you want? Bring news of Apollo to Nada? How about we don't? Wait, I thought I had a place to go before I got on board. Did it change my damn mission again? Ah, oh, you bastard, you did. Visit the observatory. It loves to change your missions on you. That is so annoying. I wish it would lock in missions and not change them until you change them. Because it likes to jump from one mission to another when you change it, like when you sit down in a seat or when you hop in a vehicle or you know, anything like that, any kind of change like that, when you go to the anomaly or any kind of map change, it likes to, or any kind of position change or vehicle change, it likes to screw around and say, oh, well, you know, our mission's going to go over here now. And that throws you off so much. Observatory, approximate location here. It actually looks like it's over here. I'm going to assume that's the observatory there. Certainly looks like one. Certainly looks like one. Radio observatory. Right, let's up-a-doo out of our seat. Hiya. And go barreling down to this planet. Right. Whee! Here, block that destination, jackass. Oh, this place is already a wreck. Yeah, this is an observatory, alright, and it is a wreck. It is not in good condition. A beacon has been retrieved, and a transmission sequence awaits response. Okay, we gotta guess it. 1212, 2121, 1212, obviously 2121. Discover a location within the distant stars. Really? Distant stars could be on this planet? Couldn't be on this planet, huh? Yeah, huh. Wait, that's an ancient ruin. That's supposed to be detecting us, that's not supposed to be detecting us an ancient ruin. I have a feeling there's another, yeah. This is not the right observatory. We landed near two observatories. How nasty is that? That is evil. That is evil. It's like, hey, go to an observatory. You don't tell me there's two of them. There's the other one right there. Oh my god. Oh, I think I just hit something. Yep. Whoopsie! Oh shit, there's floating guys there, that's why. Okay. Observatory number 2. Let's try this again, shall we? I thought it was weird that that observatory was abandoned. I did not figure... This one is too! What the hell? We're just abandoned observatories all over the place here. Alright. Terminal is curiously open. The logs ready for me to read. Observatory function as a salvage station. Manned by ex-specialists. Translator, they were accused sowing the seeds of dissidence. Wow. Well, dissent. This posting was meant as punishment. Ooh. Posting was making of them. They found strange things in their exit brief. Aberrations, data that spoke of worlds that do not exist. And events that didn't happen. Investigate what's such draft. Life signature of a Korvac still on board. They never returned. This is how Nada and Polo met. This is how my friends found each other. There's a signal on the console, a warning on repeat. 16 short bursts of data in loop. 16 short bursts of data. 16! Crashed vessel awaits me on another world. Don't you mean approximate location of a freighter crash site? Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get there and it's going to go, oh, approximate location. As usual. There are patterns in the skies. Alright. Let's rock. At least we're going to a nicer planet by the looks of it. She's all green and shiny and got water and lakes and it's a bountiful planet. I like bountiful planets. They don't suck, usually. It's like we're coming in amidst some islands. Oh, look at this beauty. Now that's a harsh, that's a harsh shift right there. Going from a planet where everything's purple and dry and rocky and crusty and nasty to a beautiful green planet with luscious blue waters. Yeah, I love it. Well, there's the approximate location of the crash site. We're gonna have to land and, you know, do a search and find out where this thing crashed, because, you know, we'll never find it unless we actually land and begin a search. It's just, it's too impossible. Not possible. Alright, enough of this. I just love when it's like, land, proceeds with the search, and it's so obvious. That just makes me chuckle. Your manifest missing. Limited data available. Yeah, damn it! I need a log encryption key. How do I get that? Oh, obvious. Alright. It's one of these. It's here, you just have to find it. By digging up everything that's here. It better be in this first one. I swear. It is not in the first one. Oh, yes it is. There it is. Wait, what the heck just hit me? I don't think that was the radiation that hit me. Was it? Maybe it was. Alright. Oh, shit. I'm taking damage because I'm an idiot. No, I need to charge my life support. Yep. Life support's offline. We should be on board and correct that situation. Oxygen, please. Thank you. Yeah. Stop being an idiot. Coming down. Alright. That ship sounds louder than mine. We got a biggie going overhead? I don't know. What? What are you? Oh, you're one of those little... I love you guys. You guys are so cute. It's like a slimy guy, kind of. Alright. Let's get to this. Read log. Oh, I hope this isn't one that's going to have me find a whole pile of encryption keys. The swarm came to every void. The drones acted erratically, not attacking, just watching. Time passed, and the sentinels did not seem so much of a threat anymore. They were peaceful now. We thought we had been forgiven. We were wrong. Yep, I gotta get... Oh, God dang it. I gotta dig up every single one because every single one of them is gonna have a damn encryption key. Whoops. Well, I guess it might be one just does work on that. Okay. Alright, give me the next key. You know what? I'm just gonna collect them all. Gotta catch them all. Another one down here somewhere. There it is. Oh, dig me a hole. Where the cargo pods roam? Actually, I wouldn't want to live where the cargo pods roam. There's a lot of radiation around these cargo pods. Especially after you mess with them. They get kind of uppity. It's like, no, they have no problem with you until you take away their sliminess. And then they just go, they're like, we're gonna kill you now. What the heck? That's weird. And then there's one more on the other side. Yeah, every single one of them has an encryption key. Every blasted one. I thought we got lucky at the start. Nope, we didn't. Oh, but I only need 3. I only need 3 according to the quest that had just popped up. Okay, I definitely have 3 now. Relog. Struck as one, an attack somehow coordinated across the unfathomable distances. With a fury exceeding all prior skirmishes, the Sentinels annihilated all biological life within the universe in a span of 5.2 standard minutes, or 54.2 standard minutes. Wow, 1 hour and every bit of life in the universe. Only I remained. The Korvax stood with me in the end. To their credit, they concealed me within their flotilla as they headed towards the center. Log integrity compromised. Of course it is. Really? They are coming now. The screams of my friends have resonated in every hall, every corner. The Sentinels have found me. I told Nida to leave. I told them what we already know. All of us. We're not alone. Even if I die, Nida will find me again in another universe. 10 just like me, 1,000, 1,000,000. We're not alone. For every soul is many. Even in the face of 16, we must declare that we lived, we existed, no matter the horror of the end. They are at my door. I hear unexpected log termination. Okay, well, so Nada was on the ship. Okay, what's next? Transmit the freighter's log to Null. Another holo terminus. Why can't we just build one of these holo terminuses on board like our ship or our base or something like that? Having to find these all over the place is just ridiculous. Oh, it's Animus! I escaped, traveler. I escaped. One moment I was running from them, the stars shifting, terrible smiles within the dark. And the next I was here, well, wherever here is. This new world has a sun, has life, it's beautiful, but I think anything would be beautiful after months spent in that awful place. We're ready to get going now, though. Do what we did before, except there will be no shifting stars to stop us this time. If you bring the star chart to a nearby station, I'm sure we'll find each other soon. Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell her the truth. I gotta tell her the truth. They deserve to know. They deserve to know. Well, present the positives. Let's present the positives, shall we? Tell Arminus everything from the moment I discovered their grave to the final upload of Arminus' soul, the simulated solar system. Artemis thinks I'm joking at first, but as I try to tell him the positives, that the simulation is a Korvax relic that no explorer has ever seen before, they just stare at me. I'll never forget how their smile falters. After a few more questions, they tell me they need some time to think about what I've said. Alright. Well, you know what? I was honest. I was honest. I tried to do what was best. I was honest about it. I tried to do its best. I tried to save them in whatever capacity I could save them. You know? Because I honestly would not have wanted to end. At least she still has some life. You know? I myself would not wanted to been surrounded by what she just described and then all of a sudden everything go black and me be dead. That, no. I would not have wanted that. That would not be a thing. Now she has a chance to explore all that, you know, live whatever simulated life she can, continuing to explore, and yeah, I think it's a much better existence. Speak to Null. Why am I still floating? I'm still floating. I haven't landed yet. Actually, I think I'm stuck in the... There we go. I was stuck in the floor. Now I'm walking, okay. No! There you go. Radiant's recordings. Let's spoke of our world where the Sentinels eliminated all life, leaving only a traveler and a single Korvax entity. I choose my words with care. Think I do not know who the Korvax entity is? Don't not be so naive, traveler. Anything you have read is a surprise to me. I had to be sure what I suspected, I know it now. The Atlas is with you. You cannot see things if it did not wish it. The freighter was a wreck from a parallel universe. These are countless such places within our multiverse dimensions where things happen differently. But there are 3 exceptions to this. The Atlas is omnipresent in all. Singular being with singular perception. Sentinels move between dimensions as well. Serve the Atlas once. They were guardians of reality. Defenders of civilization. They hunted for errors within the universes, preventing destruction and loss of life. The annihilation recorded in that log, well, something must have been quite wrong for them to do a thing like that. The Atlas created all life and the Sentinels defended it, searching for anomalies within that creation. But they annihilated an entire universe, well, something must have been quite wrong for them to do a thing like that. After a time, the Sentinels ended their service to the Atlas. How do you know that? I've been alive for a very long time, traveler. I know as much as you would know had you seen the things I have seen. Well, that's kind of circular reasoning. It was the travelers who corrupted existence. Our arrival was meant to herald a glorious age, but we made a terrible mistake. I committed an act beyond forgiveness. From this deed, paradise was lost. Something is different in this cycle. The walls between universes, they grow thin. Nada knows this, but they keep their head in the sand. We must learn what we can from each species before we decide what to do. Visit a Viking cartographer and speak with them. I'll translate. I don't know if I trust this Null. I don't know if I trust Null. Not sure. Not sure if I trust no. So I did say before that I had played this game all the way to its conclusion. Um, I may have overstepped saying that. I played this game all the way to the center of the universe. That does not mean I played the story all the way through. That means I played the game, or I flew to the center of the universe. So those are two very different things. Those are two very different things in this world, or in this whatever you want to call it. Locate a vacuum system on the galaxy map. Awesome. So yeah, those are two very different things in this game. Let's go talk to Nada just to shut up this mission. These missions run in parallel, but they are kind of two separate, completely separate missions. Not necessarily separate storylines, but definitely separate missions. Oh, we are coming in slow on this one. Wow. What the hell? I think somebody in here has a hacked ship. That is over the limit. And we're coming in. Zuma. Oh, there's just a lot of people in here. That shouldn't have caused that much lag, though. Should not have caused that much lag. There's only us three by the looks of it. Weird. Yeah, there's no one docked in that fourth spot. Sometimes it'll lag on loading. If there is a fourth ship or third ship or whatever that's too big and it needs extra time to load. But you'll be able to see it at that teleport hub. You'll be able to see the fourth ship at that teleport hub. Alright, Nada. Time to come clean. Viking entities have a long history. Have long history? Have a long history. Conflict, honor, rage, pride, and yet so static. Defined by themselves, never changing. Nada waits as if expecting me to ask something. How about we ask about, no. Missing entity is not as missing as they believe. Nada is not traveler entity, but Nada is not young and foolish. Missing entity has their beliefs, their project, so be it. Well. Missing friend has you do their business. Help if you must, but always discover for yourself. Think about what you do. Do not just follow instructions with your eyes. Well, yeah. That's what they like you. Big grumpy fellows, they do not look friendly little geck. Perhaps they are wise, like all beings. You'll see their value if you get to know them. Polo, I hate to break this to you, but the reason you guys are the way you are right now is because they stopped you guys from being mass murderers of an entire civilization. In fact, your ancestors would have melted this guy down for his nanites. So don't go getting up on your high horse. am I saving up for? Do I even have anything I'm saving up for? Not specifically. I don't think, anyway. Hey, we got the decals. We got decals. We've got posters. We've got drawers. Tables and desks. We were going down this side to grab a few things there. Decorative. But I don't... There are a few things that I like in here. For decorative purposes, I should say. Like the planter's nice. I like the small planter. Some of these little lights, like the pillar light, are nice too for small areas. And these displays over here as well. I kind of like the stuff on this page. Let's unlock a few things. I do like that server. Let's go down that way. To start, I mean, it's going to use a lot of points. There's like 3 points. 3 points a piece to go down that side. Stupid. Yay! How about we open up some more space up here? Because I feel like we'll need it up top. We're currently a little full up top. Yo. I'm pretty sure we unlocked everything we needed to unlock there. Whee. I think I have grabbed everything I need from previous expeditions. Yeah, let's grab our decals. Let's grab our decals. Let's grab our Starborn poster. 10, why not? Yeah, sure. Let's grab our flags. I don't think so. And the Wraith. Do I want the Wraith or the Starborn Runner? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. That'd be nice to have the Expedition 16 ship. I would like to have that. There's quite a few things that I would actually like to have. But these expeditions, a lot of these expeditions you can't do anymore. They got the 16, 15, Gone Fishing poster. That's a nice one. There's the Chitin Exoskeleton, Mandibles, Monstrous Trophy. I believe I did some of this expedition. I think I got like one piece of this armor, maybe, or maybe it was something else. Then you got the trophies, some nice ones. Iron Vulture, that's a nice ship too. That's a nice looking ship. I like it. That was from Expedition 13. There's the other scepter, Expedition 12. That's a nice scepter to have. There's another egg. It's this one here, the construct egg. The skull, the digits, the paws. That was a nice one. Expedition 11. That was the Voyager. Was that Voyagers? That was Voyagers. Yep, that was a nice expedition. From what I hear, I would love to do it. I'd love to do that. Oh, and there's 10. Expedition 10 gave you the heads and the arms for the construct, so you could come across as being a droid, which was nice. That was Singularity? Singularity. That one's nice. I wish I would have had a chance to do those. Unfortunately, I wasn't playing No Man's Sky. There's a nice little fighter from Expedition 9. The, the little robotic dude. The visor was nice from Expedition 9. It looked great. Again, this is stuff that I really wish that I could have a chance to go back and do. I do know there are ways to do it. This is the Expedition 8, which was the freighter expedition, the Pole Star. You got some interesting stuff from it. That was where you got the high gravity freighter trail, as well as some freighter posters. Organic frigate, Expedition 7. That was what expedition was that? That was the Leviathan. Yeah, Leviathan expedition. Organic frigate. That's awesome. Organic frigate calf. That was your companion for the base. That was Whale Stalker Cloak. Same expedition. Times Place poster. Same expedition. I would love to do all these expeditions. If I could. Like I said, if I could. Expedition 6. Wasn't really much to Expedition 6. You got the Shuddering Starship Trail, but that was pretty much it. Everything else was like posters and flags and stuff. Expedition 6 was pretty kind of... I found it kind of lame when I was reading it. Expedition 5 was nice because it gives you the quad. That was the exobiology one. You also got the wing pack from that one. The little exotic wing pack and the armor. Expedition 4 was Emergence. That's when they brought in the sandworm, and you can actually get a sandworm egg. Yes, you could get a sandworm egg. The Titanic Trophy was nice too. I've run into this big guy out in space, but it would be nice to have a little skull of him. And then Expedition 3, you got a companion, Whispering. You got the Cartographer's Expedition, of course, and the Saucer Fungus, Cave Creepers. So this was all like decorations, which were kind of nice to have. It's kind of nice to have decorations. This here is really nice for your base, as well as the bubble trail for your jetpack. That was kind of fun. Expedition 1 gave you the Golden Vector, which is a nice looking ship. And that was the Pioneers Expedition. That was the very first expedition. It also gave you the jetpack. The Streamlined Jetpack unit, which I actually like the looks of. I really like the looks of it. But I don't see anybody using this one anymore. Even though it's a nice one, I really like the look of it. But I don't ever see anybody using that one before. And then I get into the stuff that I already completed. So, I mean, there's a lot of expeditions I wish I could have done because they were really cool. But you can only do them if they open them. I shouldn't say that. There's other ways of doing them too. As far as I'm aware, there's ways that you can do them. But I don't specifically know those ways, and I look at it as kind of a cheater to go and open those expeditions when they're not actually available. Because I didn't play the game at that time. I was busy playing other games. I had the game, but I wasn't playing it at that time, so I missed a lot of expeditions. Plus, at the start, I didn't get into expeditions until this year, pretty much. I've been playing No Man's Sky since the start, but I didn't actually get into expeditions until now, because expeditions to me were, always something that other people did, kind of like PvP and these Nexus missions. I often looked at those as things other people did until I actually started getting into them this year, and then I was like, oh, I should have been doing this stuff all the time, but I didn't. So, I mean, it's my fault for taking so long to get into them. I've had this game for a very long time, but like I said, I just didn't get into it. now that I'm into it, there's a lot of expeditions I wish I would have done. Because, like I said, I played since it launched. Okay, so we have one of those log entries back, or left over. I don't really know what to do with it, other than just, I guess, hold on to it. Maybe another quest will require it. Might be another quest in our future that it says, hey, find a log entry. Never know. We'll put it in our consumables, I guess. I guess that could be called a consumable. And our Deadeye turret should probably be in our Corvette parts. We'll throw that in there. Okay. So now that we've talked to Nada and Polo, that quest should decide to dick off for a while. I kind of want to do a rebuild of our ship, but I know I don't have enough ship parts to make you know, something really kind of funky and interesting. So we're looking for a Vy'keen cartographer. We need to get to a Vy'keen system. Let's check our galaxy map for a Vy'keen system. Oh, it's already got one marked for us. Awesome. My hyperdrive has no fuel. Even better. Where's my boys? Where's my boys? We got fuel in our hunk of junk. Hey boys. We got fuel in this thing. Bring it in. Bring in the fleet. I'm gonna get hit by my own ships warping in. Alright, boys. We got any fuel on this flying hunk of junk? Where's my ship? There's my ship. Hi, navigator. How it goes? Oh, we gotta check our our travel log here. Alright, Normandy, how good you do? Cultivated good relations with the local branch of Vy'keen High Command, able to purchase ritual Vy'keen daggers. Nice! Arrive, Scotch learn investment opportunity, purchased large share of weapon recycling business, a beauty. Surveyed fauna, discovered 69 new species, DNA samples archived. Cool. Space scan, primary star class, okay. Negative investment opportunity. Local power plant had developed a novel technique for creating and harnessing miniature black holes. Nice. We got profits from that. Visited markets. Production of technology components, which price is artificially low. Purchased in bulk. Nice. Salvage frigate module. Hell yes. Anomalies detected. Solar wind extremely high. Stripping atmosphere from all nearby planets. We got some pearls. Nice. Got some money for here. Battling smugglers. Sweet. Breed some cactors and got a reward. Nice. What was the last one? Returned home. Good job. Good job. Good frickin' job. Look at the stuff we got. We got some Corvax casings. We got some grain. We got a module. Whoops. We got a yo. We got a pearl. This is a salvage frigate module. That's a module for adding to our frigate. Nice. We definitely need that. That's for like upgrades down with this guy. It's for upgrades. That's for these. So we got one, and that means we can unlock the scanner room, which would be nice. We can unlock the teleporter room, which would be nice. You know what? I think we'll get the scanner room, because the scanner room's great. It lets us know everything about a planet, or everything about a system. As soon as we arrive, it'll tell us everything there is to know about that system. So I think that's going to be the best way to go. And then we'll build our scanner room on our ship. So we're going to need another corridor here. And then we'll put our scanner room. We'll throw our scanner room right here. Kaboom. And now, when we come in here, we can activate a planetary probe. And we know absolutely friggin' everything about the system now. We know what every planet has. We know what every planet's named. So, you know, we don't know what's on the planet as far as critters go, but we know what we can find there. So we don't have to scan each planet individually, like we have been doing. You know what's even better? I think we should probably... I am not inside that. Hey, dummy. We're going to move this over here. This does not need to be... This just needs to exist. It doesn't actually need to exist there, so we'll put that way over here. It just has to exist. Oops. Then we'll grab this guy, our scanner, and we will put it here. Because that's a much better placement. We have our scanner, we have our fleet command station, and then over here on the side we have our required room, yet not required to enter room. And then off on this side here, we got our storage here, our terminal here. Now, would these be consumables? They would probably not be consumables. They would probably be components. So not that. That would be a consumable, though. Those would be a consumable. But this would be a sell object. That'd be something to sell. Or toxic grain. Ooh, 2.3 mil. Nice. 2.3 mil is several starships for our fleet. Actually, there's probably 2 ships for our fleet. Depending on the quality of the ships, of course. We have some science vessels in our fleet. You can see that one right there. The Normandy, of course, is in our fleet, which I don't know where he's parked. Let's go up to our upper deck, and we can find everybody. So there's another science vessel there. That one I believe is a trade vessel that we have. Went over to this side. We have another. I believe that's a trade vessel there. Where the hell's our Normandy? Ah, there's our Normandy. And I believe that's a combat vessel there. We have the Normandy. Our fleet's actually not that bad. It's a good size. Our fleet's getting to be a good size. How's it going, Navigator? What do we got for expeditions, bud? We got a lot of ships. Mission for non-violent diplomacy. I love it. So that's going to be a trade. We got 2 balanced. We got a trade. How are we for trade? We don't really have trade ships. We have support ships. We have exploration ships. We have combat ships. Industrial ships. We got our recon ship. Not really much in the way of trade. We need a trade ship. So let's hold off on the expedition. Maybe in our next system we can find ourselves a trade ship. So please tell me we have some fuel. Mother... ah. We don't have fuel either? Yeah. What is going on, guys? We need some fuel. Let's make some fuel. Do I know how to make the beastly fuel? Probably not. At least not here. Now let's make the warp cells. Okay, guys, freighter. Where's our hyperdrive? Let's load that puppy up. There we go. We're full. Okay. How about our we got one left. Starship, loaded up. 25%. Good enough. Alright, let's get the hell out of here now. Alright, let's move the fleet. Fleet transfer! I thought it was going to crash there on me for a second. Alright, we are in our new system. Regiasto system? Regiasto system. Alright, so that's when we come to here. We run our scan. And we learn everything about this system. So we got a glacial planet, a poisonous planet, desert, mutating, bladed, and swamp. Nice. This has got copper, we got copper, ammonia, copper dioxide, copper pyrite, copper, gold, silver, and copper feces. Interesting, interesting. Okay. And we have a relaxed conflict level, so that's good. That's good. Okay, let's go see if we can find some more ships for our fleet before we do anything else. Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid. Ah, shit, I should have kept going backwards. I gotta go around. Yeah, oh, let's go. How about not? How about not allowing your captain to just wander off into this, space, the depths of space? Emergency settlement comm. Uh-oh. My settlement in trouble? Help. Okay. Oh boy. Alright. Let's get to the space station. Go save our settlement. Extreme Sentinel assault underway. Oh boy. Extreme. Oh boy. Alright, we need to get to our settlement, like lickety-split. Yeah, you can let me off. I don't give a shit about derelict freighters. We gotta get back home. Where is our settlement? Solo Opus, Nautilin Base. Where's our settlement? There it is. Warp there. As soon as we arrive, we hop in a vehicle and we blow shit up. That's the way this is gonna go. Actually, I don't even think we need a vehicle, but we're going to get in a vehicle. The question is, does my car have a weapon? I'm back, boys. Does our car have a weapon? I don't know. Does our car have a weapon? That's the mining laser. Do we have? We do not. Shit. Whoops. Come on. Yes, I know. I hear you. You jackasses. Where's my truck? Why is my truck not here? Are you kidding me? The station's right over there for the truck. You prick. Okay, well, whatever. Here we go. Where's my... Blaze Javelin? Yeah, screw you. You hippie. You stop repairing shit. Damn it! We're repairing each other again. No, you don't. Get wrecked. There we go. One repair bot down. There are the other guys. Oh, you hit your own shield. How about that? Too bad. Where's the rest of you? Where's the rest of you? Oh, son of a bitch, really? I mean, it did say extreme. Fuck you, you little repair bot. Ah, crap. Ow. Isn't he a little shit? Get fucked. Listen, you little bastard. Get fucked. You don't get to repair him. Can't even see his damage. I know he's taking damage. I don't get to see it. Ah, there we go. Nice. Yay! Buggers. Leave my villagers alone. Leave my people! Leave my people alone! Alright. So I don't exactly know what, why I didn't put any weapons on my shit yet. Oh, debrief the expedition. Return from their expedition. Essentially, such a create a series of maps and charts detailing the lands around the settlement. They are laden with valuable goods and data, and wish to share their bounty. We can claim them for some nanites, or we can donate them to bring our settlement debt down. Let's donate them. I think that's a good idea. Let's bring our settlement debt down. Settlement debt reduced by 94,000. What is our settlement debt? I'm almost scared to look at it. Oh, an almost broadcast. This terminal is fascinating. It's recorded all sorts of data about you and these settlers. I can see they've been well, that's not the point. I have shut down your little major domo for now. Robots cannot be trusted. That was what I have to tell you. Demand answers. Anyone with their eyes open could see a sentinel spike of that magnitude, even if they weren't spying on you. What happened? Did they leave any interesting tidbits behind? See what you can find, then come to the anomaly. I have to know more. No, okay. Oh, that's the anomaly guy. Yeah, okay. I know where we're at. We're at the start of getting my own little bot. That's where we're at. All right, what else do we have at this terminal? Anything? Nothing. Okay, let's view the status of our settlement. We're probably... Oh, yeah, we're fucked. Look at that. Look at that! Oh, yeah! Woo! Yes! Celebrate, people, for our settlement is going under. Oh, God. I gotta summon my ship here. I'm not gonna summon my freighter. I'm gonna leave my freighter where we parked it, but I'm gonna summon my ship here because we gotta get this. We gotta get this built. What kind of landing was that? I mean, that's why I put that landing gear on there. But Jesus, you didn't have to just go standing over top of the whole friggin' area. That's awesome. Alright, what do we got? We got a B-class building over there. We've got... this building is done. Nice. Let's unveil it. That'll bring our productivity up over here. All this time, that has not been done. Darn. Okay, so that'll up our productivity. Ooh, look at that. 23,000 a day. Nice. Does that put us on a positive keel? I don't think it will, but where are we at? Let's see where we're at. Our productivity is still too far down. Dang it. Okay. See, our problem is this right here, I'm pretty sure. It's built on sand. That's going to be a hard one to overcome. We need to get that up. Alright, so let's work on productivity, let's work on happiness. So we got two B-class productivity buildings. What is this one? This is another agricultural unit, which will up productivity. Right now it decreases happiness. It should up the happiness. So we're going to need 120 nitrogen. Okay, let's 120 nitrogen, huh? You gonna be a jackass again? You're gonna land proper this time. There we go. 120 nitrogen. So we're looking for nitrogen. There. I'm pretty sure we got that because that's what we're collecting back home. Here it is. We'll put the glass in over here. Oh, that's not here. It's always good to keep some glass, because there are some things that actually require glass specifically. So let's upgrade this. That'll get That started. Oh, hell yes. Actually, where's my car? No. This is better if I select it first. Gather ourselves some crystals. Go get fucked, you giant wormy. That one's got the eyeball on the front. Yep. He'd just being noisy today. Off his meds. Alright. I can make that joke because I take meds. Oh, God. Get myself canceled so fast. Guess what? Don't care. That's why I like not being one of those major influencers. I don't care. Whoops. Do not want to be one. Have no desire whatsoever to be one. Never want to be one. Because I feel that would take away from why I do this, which is for fun. It's for enjoyment. For sheer enjoyment. Yeehaw! That's a wall. I was hoping it would nose up a bit so I could climb it, but no. Like that. That's what I was hoping for. Oh. Thought I got all you guys that were around here. I guess not. Whee! You see, the weird thing about this is I wasn't able to spawn my Colossus, even though this is where my Colossus is based. I couldn't call it. And that's a little worrying. Because, yeah. There's my Colossus platform right there. But for some reason I could not call my Colossus on this planet. Probably because I called it somewhere else, I don't know. But that's a little disconcerting. I would think I would be able to call my Colossus to my own base. But maybe I need the Exocraft summoning station here. I don't know. Construction allows the user to summon any owned Exocraft from anywhere else in that system. So it says in that system. It doesn't say in another system. It says in that system. So, but if I come out here and I do this, boom, there's my Colossus. So, and there's my rover. So it doesn't seem to make sense to me why I would have to go to another system to summon my Exocraft. Since I can do that from there. odd. It's very odd. Oh, here's a nice little science ship. Alright, I'm going to sell the salt that we just got. Still selling pretty good. And our refiners, I don't think we need to run anything through the refiners at this moment. I need to get a Corvax for that. Or Vikeen, I should say. Vikeen. I could probably find one at the station we actually left. Oh, how's our... I have not checked on our plants lately. Okay, we have a full room of frostwort, but we don't have anything else, do we? No, we haven't done. I haven't done the other plants. I've only done the frostworts. So we have to work on the other plants. That's the thing we definitely have to do. Have to get done if we want to actually start making money off of plants. So the plants that I was going for are the. This is going to be a little sidetrack from our main story, or our main thing that we're working on. So we are looking at, let's see here, 4 plants. We wanted the Abu and Pearl, which is indium and paraffinium. I don't think we have indium. And then the other one that we wanted was the Gravino host, which is chromatic metal, silver, and magnetized ferrite. So we need chromatic metal, silver, and magnetized ferrite. What are we carrying? I don't know that we're carrying a lot of that. Oh, we do have... Well, we have 182 of the indium. That was for the... how much did we need? 60. So we could probably do 2 of those. That was, whoops. That was the indium and the paraffinium. The other one, we needed magnetized ferrite. I don't know that we have... I'm not seeing silver. Unless my eyes are... Unless I'm just blind. I am not seeing any silver. Am I just blind? Or is there absolutely no silver? I don't see any silver. I see the chromatic metal. How can I have 0 silver? Like, absolutely none. Is there any on the trade? Alright, cobalt. There is none. Okay, well. Shit. Absolutely no silver whatsoever. Okay, so the pearl orb, we can probably make a couple. Ah, 3. Okay. We got away with 3. But I mean, that's a start. 3 is definitely a start. The other side, Jesus, I can't believe we're completely out of silver. That's insane. Okay. Oh, motherfucker, there it is. I knew it was too good to be true that we were completely out of silver. I'm putting shit in the wrong box. Alright. I was like, there's gotta be a... There can't be any way that I'm out of silver, like, completely. That's just ridiculous. Okay, Gravito host. I mean, we don't have much silver. We can build 5 of these guys. So let's, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you look down the hallway, we'll see that there's actual plants down here. Okay. Yeah, I was like, there's no way we're that far out of silver. Especially with a freighter. We've been building on a freighter for a while. We gotta have silver to be building on a freighter. So, okay, there we go. We will hit our save beacon. And then we're going to take a look around. I think we got to go to another planet. I don't think we can do it on this planet. Well, there's one there. There's one out there. So maybe we can do it on this planet. I was going to say we need to get enough tech modules to build the mech. Yeehaw! I mean, I do believe we're eventually given it, but it's we're running into situations now where I wish I had it, such as the assaults on the base. I mean, this guy's good. This machine here is good. I like it. I really like it. But the problem is, it's not made for close-in combat. Whereas we can certainly accomplish that with the Colossus. Or not the Colossus. I'll be alright. Oh, Jesus. Mary and Joseph. Alright, so we're gonna need, I think it's 10? I think we need 10. We've got 6 already, so... It wouldn't hurt to have some extras, but... We need at least 10. Vroom vroom! That's a hole. That's a hole. I just said that's a hole. Avoid the damn hole! God! Son of a bitch! Now we're in it. There ain't going any forward through this shit. We ain't going forward. And I don't think I have enough juice to climb backward. Yeah, prick. There's no getting out of this wormhole, as it were. Come on, we can do it. I'm gonna bounce this fucker around. She's gonna climb the walls, or she's gonna end up in the walls. Come on, you prick. Oh. Fine. What a jerk. Stuck in a hole I didn't even dig. Alright. We got 11. That's enough to get what we actually want to get. But let's get a few more anyways. As long as they're, like, here. Not going to go out of our way to look for them, but as long as they're here, I'll grab a few more. Love how the plants just kind of warped in there. Whoops, I forgot to look and see if there's another one nearby. I think we may have exhausted our search. Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't want to lock onto the hazardous flora. I want to lock onto the buried tech module. I want to run over the hazardous flora. Big difference there. Right in front of a sentinel. I feel like these have reset since I last been on, and I actually collected these before. Had to search long and hard for that one. I tell you, they don't make them easy to find. Let's go to that one. It's more back towards the base. Yeehaw! $23. I think we're good. I think we're good. Let's head back to our starship, because that's what we need to get to the anomaly. We gotta go to talk to Tethys up there as well, as you can see by the mission. And we might just find some trade ships up there, who knows. What do we need to recharge this puppy? Carbon. Alright. Let's shoot some friggin' trees. Any of these trees gonna give me carbon? There we go. Why? Love of God, why? Oops, the Sentinels are investigating. That means I'm in trouble. A lot of these vehicles are powered on carbon. It's kind of like our vehicles today, how they're driven on, you know, carbon-based fluids. We run our vehicles on the bones of your ancestors. Wouldn't it be bad if you actually had to dig up the bones? That would be the dark road that the the Relics campaign took. In order to power your vehicles, you must dig up the bones of their ancestors. That'd be so dark. What's your Colossus run on? Dino bones. Oh god. So dark. Really? Oh, you want to play that game now? Now that I actually have a vehicle here that can whoop your ass, you want to play that game? Oh, you didn't get a chance to fix him, did you? Did you? Oh, of course you did. I didn't let you fix him. You just hang out right there. There you go. Oh, you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? You want a piece of this truck? I'll give you a piece. Your little repair buddy ain't gonna help you either. Yeah, it fucked. Get rid of repair buddy over here. Get wrecked. Okay. Now we can finish taking you on. Oh, screw you, you little prick. Another repair guy showed up. Where are you? He's repairing them from way the fuck back there. Where are you, little shit? I get him. Ah, my wheel caught. Screw off, you little prick. Can't see me, he's too damn small. Some bitch. Get out of here, you little repair bot. Stop trying to friggin' recharge the heat. Getting caught in a sentinel swarm here. Those guys aren't supposed to be helping this guy. Really? Motherfucker. Ah. Got you fucking stunned now, don't I, bitch? Brick. Where the hell did he go? Alright. Now we gotta repair our freaking Colossus. This is why I need the other one. Because I wouldn't have had a problem with it. Ugh. Colossus is not made for in-close combat like that. Now she's got some broken shit on her. Gotta fix her engine. Magnetized ferrite and a gel. Alright. Should be broke. That's fine. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. Our ship is just over here. We need magnetized ferrite, and we need a gel. So in here we'll find our magnetized ferrite. And hopefully we have a gel over here. Oh wait, gel won't be in there. It'll be over here. If we have one, it'll be in here. We do not, so we gotta make one. That's fine. What does it take to make a life support gel? Dihydrogen, jelly, and a carbon. Okay, so we need some dihydrogen and we need some carbon. There's some dihydrogen, and there is our carbon. So we make ourselves a jelly, and we make ourselves a life support gel. And we are good to go. And we would be even better to go. We didn't have a stupid rainstorm coming now. Perfect. Alright. No, it's even burning. It's even burning, for fuck's sakes. Alright. Got her fixed. Engine repaired. We haven't installed that yet. We need 3 storm crystals. Do we have 3 storm crystals? I think we only have the 1. I think those were over here, if they were be anywhere. Or not. Might be... Did I put them in here? We don't have any storm crystals. We have... Oh, yeah, we have 1. We have 1 storm crystal. We need more storm crystals for that. Okay. Go with that. Let's put this stuff away. And we'll put a... We have a glass again. We have another glass, I should say. That away. Okay, and then we will head to the space station. I was gonna say I'll just leave my ship here, but my ship's gonna follow me when I go to the space station, so... I'll still go this way, though. It sucks flying if you don't have to fly, you just teleport there. Teleport to the space station in our current system. Okay. So now, um, well, we need to go to the anomaly, really. Yeah. Yeah, our business is at the anomaly. I don't think we have any... Do we have parts in storage? I don't think we do. No. So the only parts we have available are the ones that are on the ship. Back here. So these are the only parts we have available to us right now. Not a heck of a lot. So if we did want to make some adjustments to our ship, we would definitely need to get more. We would definitely need to get more. Um, yeah, we need to get a lot more. But I do like our ship the way it is. Just sometimes you like a change here and there. But I do think our ship looks pretty cool. I don't think a bigger ship would be more efficient, really. Actually, a bigger ship would be less efficient. Ship size is a funny thing. If your ship's too small, it's not very useful. If your ship's too big, it becomes inefficient. You have to travel a long you have to travel a long ways in your ship to get to what you need. So there's a nice little medium to ship size, and we're right at that. We're right in that area. You're gonna notice most Corvettes don't get, I should say most useful Corvettes, don't really get much bigger than this. They're usually around this size. So they might get bigger as far as like flashiness goes, like having nacelles and all that on the side or whatever. But as far as the interior space goes, usually they don't get much bigger, because that's when they stop becoming useful and start becoming a little bit more of a pain in the ass, a little more of a burden. That's an interesting shape. Oh, is that person? I think that person's trying to replicate the Star Destroyer. Looks like it. They're working on a Star Destroyer build. I've seen so many of those now. I have seen so many of the Star Destroyer builds. They really don't impress anymore. Actually, I did a video. On my channel that got a lot of. I don't know. It started a conversation, man. I'll tell you that much. It was the Galaxy class Federation starship versus the Imperial Star Destroyer. Wow, that guy's coming in slow and laggy. Holy shit. And what I discovered, and I did a lot of testing on this. I did a lot of testing on this. Like, I don't think these people realize that my 30-minute video doesn't include hours and hours of crunching numbers and doing tests. Like, and what I ended up coming out to, uh, exactly what happened. We were attacked. So what I came up to was the fact that it wouldn't actually be a matchup at all, really. It wouldn't. As much as I love Imperial Star Destroyers, and I do, I am much more of a Star Wars fan than I am a Star Trek fan, even though for me, Babylon 5 and Firefly are at the top when it comes to sci-fi series. Babylon 5 was amazing. It was way before its time, and they did some amazing stuff with the graphics capabilities that they had at the time. And they opened up a ridiculous universe of just exciting. It was exciting. Every episode, every day was exciting. Um, and the characters were human. You got to know them. They had problems. And it wasn't just a problem that was solved at the end of that episode. It was a problem that carried on, and that they had to deal with throughout the whole show. Um, they weren't an alcoholic in one episode, and then the next episode it was like nothing happened. There were things that their backstories were a part of their character throughout the whole thing, and anything that happened during the show was reflected later on in the show. So we always see this progression of these characters, these growth of these characters, um, and that's kind of in science fiction. That's a little bit uncommon, or at least it was at the time. Um, so yeah, it was an amazing show. It was well before its time. If it was made today, the graphics for it would have been outstanding. They would have been unbelievable. Um, but like Star Wars, it was made back in a time where you had limitations, and they did the best with the limitations that they could. But they brought together a universe that was amazing, absolutely amazing. You could see ship inertias. There was no. They actually used the inertias, especially in ship combat. They would use their inertias. They would fly one direction, thrust around, and fire behind them. Um, you know, there was inertia in the way that the ships would bounce through the sky or fly through the sky. They didn't fly a straight line. They would drift. They would come out one direction. They would drift. They wouldn't be flying straight perfect lines, um, as if they were a jet fighter here on Earth. So that's what I loved about that series. And the same, it was the same thing with Firefly. They didn't get they didn't get to show the capabilities of that show, but what they did show was basically space. It was a space western, basically. They showed real human beings in space with spaceships dealing with situations that you could imagine. They weren't they weren't beyond galaxy wide situations. It was just their situation for that day. They had to deal with tyranny. They had to deal with governments. They had to do what they had to do to survive. And that's what made that show so special in my heart. It was realism. There was a level of realism to the show that just made you sit back and go, "Wow, this is our future. This could be our future." And yeah, it was wild, and it was more grounded than Star Wars and Star Trek. There was more of a grounding to it. Um, it was more human, shall we say? I know Star Trek was supposed to be our future. It was supposed to show our future. But when you watch the shows, while you do get that feeling of, hopefulness for that future, you also feel that that future doesn't. It's less realistic than other futures that are depicted, specifically like Babylon 5 and Serenity. Um, so, while I do love Star Trek and Star Wars, and yes, I loved Star Wars better than Star Trek, or more than Star Trek, um, as hard as it is to believe, considering the ISD lost that battle, or the confrontation, um, people just can't get over that fact. I have to be a Star Trek fan because an ISD can't lose against a Galaxy class starship that's so much more ahead of it in technology. But I don't understand people. Arguments make no sense. But anyway, yeah, it boggled my mind. It boggled my mind when I had to deal with that kind of blowback. Um, and I mean, I even took the tech into account. I absolutely 100% took the tech into account. I was like, okay, in shows you see this and you see that and you see something else, and that's what people usually go by is what they see. If they really want to get into it, they'll hop into tech manuals, and tech manuals are borderline when it comes to canon. like extremely borderline when it comes to canon. Um, they're not usually written by the show creators. They're usually written by somebody off on the sidelines who's just starting to make just making shit up as they go. Um, it's very cool shit, but it's still um, not done uh, by the original person who came up with the show in the first place. So it will always be outside information. It'll always be borderline canon at the most. Um, and you know, you handle it like that. You deal with it like that. But anyways, I even dipped into the technical manuals. I wanted to see, especially on the Star Wars end of things, because Star Wars is movie based. There's not much. There are TV shows that that were made much later than the original Star Wars, and those TV shows have taken liberties here and there. Again, are they canon? Yes and no. Depends on who you ask, and depends on what side of the fence they're on, really, because opinions change. Whether things are canon or not is adjusted heavily by opinion. So if you want the ISD to win, then all of a sudden the ISD's got a billion guns on it, and can fire at ranges of billions of kilometers, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ludicrous considering what we know about the ISD. So yeah, there's definitely some aspects that surprised me. There was a lot of commentary that surprised me, even after I had given a summary. I was still sitting there going, "What? These people are just they're not getting it. They're not getting it. They've picked a side, and they're gonna die on that hill, even though it's just a show. It's a TV show. It's a TV movie. It's a movie series. They're just apt to die on that hill because they're such fans of it. And I mean, fair enough, but it doesn't change facts. It doesn't change the outcome of the research. So, getting into it quickly, the ISD won. And why did the ISD win? Because the range of its weapons is not even close to being equal to the range of a Galaxy-class starship like the Enterprise. The range is nothing. There's such a disparity between weapon ranges. The ISD uses plasma weaponry. It has an absolutely asinine amount of plasma weaponry, but it's plasma. It's plasma gas. It uses Tabana gas as a plasma bolt, or to form a plasma bolt, and that's what's fired from the turbo lasers. The maximum range of those things is roughly only 1,200 kilometers. That's 1,200. 1,200, okay? 1200. That's the maximum range. You got to be right on top of somebody, or pretty damn close to them, in order for that to be an effective weapon. Which isn't, in the Star Wars universe, that's not a bad thing. That's not out of the ordinary, and it's certainly not something that's going to hold you back in the Star Wars universe. In the Star Wars universe, ships are slow. Especially the ships that ISDs have to deal with. They are slow. Yeah, you see a Mon Calamari cruiser moving along, or you see one of the Nebulon A, or Nebulon B, frigates moving along. They're slow. There's no problem with an ISD coming up behind them and stopping them. Or even the Counselor ship, the blockade runner. They're slow. They're not fast ships. And so an ISD has no problem getting close to them, dominating with, their firepower. That is the Star Wars universe, and that is the universe that everybody is looking at when they say, when they talk about the firepower and how people don't escape it. And well, yeah, in the Star Wars universe they don't. That's what the ship is designed for. It's designed for the Star Wars universe. When you take that ship and you put a ship up against it that's from a completely different universe, different rules, different systems, different technology, it's not the beast you think it is. It really isn't. Which is sad for me because like I said, I like the ISD. I think the ISD is an amazing ship in the Star Wars universe. In the Star Wars universe, that's the distinction you have to make. It is an amazing ship. It is a beast. It is a powerhouse in the Star Wars universe. That is the distinction. That is what you have to. That is the clarifying point you have to make in the Star Wars universe. So the reason I say that is when we move over to the Star Trek universe, specifically with the ship that everybody puts it up against, which is the Galaxy class starship, USS Enterprise. It doesn't have to be USS Enterprise because that's when plot armor can move in. So just a Galaxy class starship. Now, the problem when you put it up against a Galaxy class starship, like the Enterprise, is the fact that the Enterprise is from a completely different time period, a completely different universe, has completely different, basically bells and whistles. Its technology is different. That's a huge key point too. The differences in technology, and I'm not talking about the age of technology. I'm talking about the differences of technology. When you look at an Imperial Star Destroyer, it's designed to handle Star Wars technology. Its shields are designed to handle Star Wars technology. They have two shields. There's two shields on an ISD. There's the deflector shield, and then there's what they call a ray shield. They're two different shields. One is designed to absorb energy from plasma weapons. It's an energy absorbing to absorb plasma weapons and explosives. That's what it absorbs. Because that is what some of the weapons are. The other one is designed to deal with kinetic impacts. Kinetic impacts such as asteroids from flying through space, particles, ships ramming, that kind of stuff. It's not an all-powerful shield. It won't stop everything, but it's designed to be pretty good at what it does. Now, the problem is, when you bring in something like Star Trek phasers, the ISD shields are not designed to handle that. They're just not. They're a different kind of weapon that does not exist in the Star Wars universe. So why would they have a defense against it if it doesn't exist? It makes no sense. You know? Now the reason it doesn't work, and I'm gonna get a little bit technical here, but I'm gonna try to not get too far into the mix. The reason it doesn't work is because of the makeup, basically, of the phaser beam. And the makeup of the phaser beam is an energy conduit, shall we say. It's an energy conduit. So the beam itself is, or I should say the weapon itself is not energy. It's a conduit. Think of it like a straw. Think of the energy as like a straw. And what that energy contains is an accelerated, basically, beam. And I'm trying to stay away from certain words because I don't want this to come across as being an energy weapon, because it's actually not. It's a particle weapon. So it creates a focused beam of concentrated they're called nadion particles. Nadion are subatomic particles. Subatomic means they are smaller than atoms, so they work on a subatomic level. Um, how else to explain it? Kind of think of it kind of like how microwaves warm up food in an oven or in a microwave. How waves of microwaves warm up food in an oven. Kind of works like that. Um, I mean that's a loose interpretation, but I'm trying to bring it down to layman's terms. So these nadion particles, when they hit something, they don't impact it. They tear it apart from the inside out. Just to kind of give an example, they tear it apart from the inside out. Um, they dismantle it basically from the inside out. So you're not pounding something. You're not like taking a baseball bat and bashing something with it like you would a plasma bolt. Instead, what you're doing is taking apart that, let's say an armor plate. You're taking the armor plate apart from the inside out. You're kind of dissolving it from the inside out with the phaser beam or with the nadion particles, and that's how a phaser works. And because of the design of the phaser, where it has an energy sheath on the outside, which is basically like a straw, and on the inside it has these nadion particles. They're heavily adjustable. You can adjust frequency, you can adjust spread, you can adjust strength, you can adjust power, you can adjust, how many nadions are going through it. You can adjust all this stuff. All this stuff is adjustable. That's why you can have a stun beam, or you can have a vaporizing beam, which when you shoot somebody vaporizes them completely. That's why they have so many settings. Is because of their makeup. Their makeup is so adjustable because it works on the subatomic level, and not our level, not the physical level. It works on the subatomic level. So when you take a vessel like the ISD and you put it up against something like that, now the ISD is meant to work on our level. It's meant to work on like a physical level, something hitting it, something pounding it, something trying to beat on it. That's the level it's working on. You have an energy pulse, which is trying to pound it into non-existence. You have torpedoes, which are trying to impact it and make some kinetic damage. That is what they have to defend against. They don't defend against the subatomic, and that's what a phaser beam is. So I did a lot of testing to find out exactly how a phaser beam would react against the shielding of an ISD and against the hull plating of an ISD. And basically it turned out that while the ISD's energy shield would basically, I'm not going to say it would stop, it would interfere with the straw part of a phaser beam, which is the basically the confinement beam, confining the nadion particles. While it would basically put the brakes to that, it doesn't stop the nadion particles from then hitting the shield. And what the nadion particles will do to that shield is it will eat it from the inside out. It'll eat that shield from the inside out, punching holes in it, and then eventually the entire beam will just go through. And it doesn't happen within a minute or 2 minutes. It happens within nanoseconds. So within the first second of the phaser beam hitting the shields, it would turn the shield to Swiss cheese and punch right through it. And then once it hits the hull, there's no stopping it. It'll eat right through the hull. The phaser beam will eat right through the hull because it'll tear the metal apart from the inside out. We've seen this happen in Star Trek. We've seen this happen in Star Trek with ships that are shielded against these weapons. They will fire on them. They will hit the ship, and the ship will suffer damage. It'll something will be disabled, um, and that's just how it is. That is just how it is. Now, the other point that people were trying to make was, oh well, the ISD's got all these ties on board. They're meaningless. The TIE fighters on board are absolutely meaningless. Um, we've seen in several episodes how phasers on a Federation starship can fire rapidly at targets. There was actually one episode where the Enterprise destroyed 7 targets at once within like under a second. It was just like pew 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 pew, and they were gone. And they were shielded. The targets were shielded. They had minimum shielding, and they were using lasers, which are real lasers, not Star Wars lasers, but they're still lasers. The ships were no threat. They just pew 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 gone. Like within a second, they were gone. 7 of them. So if you're going to send out a few squadrons of TIE fighters, yeah, they'll buzz around the Enterprise for maybe 30 seconds, maybe before they're all destroyed. And that's sending out like every TIE you got. And then people were like, well, what about TIE bombers? The only time TIE bombers ever had an impact in my testing was when the TIE bombers basically flew directly at the Enterprise, or the Galaxy class starship, armed all their bombs in the bays, like in the bomb bay, and then rammed the ship. That was the only time they made a difference, and that is not something we actually characteristically or have seen in Star Wars. So that was not a maneuver that I allowed it during the testing. It just wasn't permitted. Besides that, and not to say that isn't. I can already hear opponents saying, "Oh, well, that's not fair then if you're going to hold that back." Well, you're right. It's not fair, but it is the same amount of fairness as me saying, "Okay, well, the Enterprise can just punch a hole through the Imperial Star Destroyer and then beam a torpedo into their reactor chamber." I mean, I didn't allow that to happen either, even though that is completely valid. That would be a completely valid maneuver if we're taking everything off the table. But I didn't allow that to happen either. I kept it to scripted details that we have seen in the various universes. So the biggest downside for the ISD was its speed, which it doesn't have, and its firing range. The firing range of the ISD, like I said, the main turbo lasers are 1200 maximum range before they fizzle out, and that's because plasma fizzles out over distance. And it does have some bombardment cannons, which are actually on its belly. They are specifically for planetary bombardment. They're not on turrets or anything like that. They're specifically for planetary bombardment. They fire out the bottom of the ship, and then go to about 9,000. I think it's 9,800 kilometers. So relatively orbital distances, which is anywhere between 5 and 10,000 is orbital. Usually 5 to 10,000 kilometers. Now, when you're talking phasers, on the other side of the scope, we have commentary from Star Trek: The Next Generation, where the Enterprise, well, it's not even the Enterprise. You got to remember, the Enterprise was the Federation flagship. It was the most, while that TV show was going, it was the most advanced starship the Federation had. And we have commentary of other ships engaging, it was the Borg at the time, at distances of 40,000 kilometers. 40,000, not 4,000, 40,000 kilometers. There's actual commentary in the show of them engaging the Borg at 40,000 kilometers. They're firing phasers, firing torpedoes that far away. Now, this isn't visually represented on screen, because if you were to put two ships 40,000 kilometers apart on screen firing at each other, they would just be two specks of dust on the screen. with little beams going between them. So you can't do that on a TV show, obviously. That's not going to happen. But from the actual script of the show, we know that they regularly engaged their targets. What are these idiots doing inside my base? They regularly engage targets at ranges of anywhere between 30 to 50,000 kilometers. Damn. This is worse than when I was alive. So yeah, 30 to 50,000 kilometers was standard engagement range. If they went to comms range, which is where that's when you see them parked nose to nose, we have commentary in the show that was done at ranges of around 27,000. 27,000, not 2,700, 27,000 kilometers. So they kept these ships in the Star Trek universe. They kept these ships fairly far apart for both combat and non-combat situations. They weren't parked on top of each other like the VFX shows, and they didn't do that in Star Wars as far as the conversations go. They never said, okay, he's approaching weapons range, now he's at 20,000 kilometers open fire. They never did that in Star Wars. So we don't. All we have to go on is the technology that they were using, and of course some common sense. So while people can argue the range that those weapons are capable of firing on an ISD, it's pretty cut and dry when you go and look at technical manuals which repeat the same thing. You go and look at film production which shows the same thing. I mean, these ships, especially like the Battle of Endor and all that stuff, they are on top of each other. Even when the Imperial Star Destroyer is chasing the Millennium Falcon, they are on top of each other. They are about as close as you would want to get. In fact, the Millennium Falcon buzzes the bridge of the Imperial Star Destroyer. That's how close these ships are in their combat situations. They're right on top of each other. So, that's the combat they're designed for. It's a Star Wars universe. That kind of combat works. I'm not really sure what I'm doing now, as far as in-game. I was thinking about trying to plant more crops, but I'd have to go get more silver. And I'm kind of waiting for that building to finish so I can start the next building in our civilization over there, our little town. This guy's just going all over. But yeah, so unfortunately for the ISD, it's out of time. It's not designed for the confrontation that it's encountering. It would be kind of like, and one of the people from that was arguing on behalf of the ISD actually gave me a very, very good comparison. They said it would be like one of today's F-22 Raptors going up against an aircraft carrier. And I said, you're absolutely right. It would be like one of today's F-22 Raptors going up against an aircraft carrier. But the aircraft carrier would have been one of the first aircraft carriers ever built, with the airplanes that are on it would have been old biplanes. It would have been like the USS Franklin, one of the very first aircraft carriers that they didn't have jet planes. They had very slow moving biplanes that launched. And if you wanted to put an F-22 Raptor against that, it would absolutely obliterate it. Why? Because the Raptor is designed ahead of time. It's not, its technology is designed to take on something like that. It could drop bombs on it. It could missile it like right through the side of the ship. It could, you know, there's a lot of stuff that it could do. So I said, you're absolutely right. I said, it is like that. Um, and that was, I don't know. I didn't get a reply to that because I guess they didn't feel like continuing that conversation after I gave them a proper example of what it would be like. Oh, again? We've had Sentinels here so many times now. Like, come on. I don't know why we keep having Sentinels here. We've already dealt with the anomalous Sentinels. Is it just going to keep doing this until I like finish them off or something, or until I finish this quest? This is getting ridiculous. These purple Sentinels keep showing up. It's getting ridiculous. Where's the sumbitch repairing them? You. I do like how the Blaze Javelin does a good job, like basically stunning them. Where's this last one? It shows it's this way. Oh, he's inside. How'd you get inside my building? Dude. Guess who's stunned? You are. Bye. I already got one of them. I think it's just going to keep doing that because I haven't completed that mission. Where's your little fucking repair bot? There they are. Another repair bot. Get out from behind him, you fuck. And weapon depleted. And now we should just be able to sit here and pelt him into trash. I think they're just going to keep showing up though until we complete that quest. Because I think that's what's triggering them. It's not too bad. I keep getting stuff from them. So I mean, that's not a bad thing. It's just annoying every time I come back here. I have to deal with that. But anyway, so yeah, that's the that was the conclusion of all my testing. Was that the ISD, it just didn't stand a chance. The Federation starship, the Galaxy class, it never had to let the ISD get in range. It just danced around outside range and slowly pecked away at their systems. Well, I wouldn't say slowly, but it pecked away at their systems until they just had nothing left. I mean, it was not a glorious battle with two ships sitting nose to nose, beating the shit out of each other. It was literally more like a surgical strike. It was like, pew, their shields are down. Pew, their engines are down. Pew, their navigation's down. Pew, their weapons are down. That was basically what it ended up being. And believe it or not, I was kind of disappointed by the outcome. I thought it would be a little more exciting than that. But once all the numbers were crunched, once you take into account their doctrines, once you take into account their technology matchup, once you take into account what the ships are designed to do, um, what level of technology the ships are at, it doesn't matter if you put out, billions of whatever, billions of joules of energy out of a reactor. If you can't use that power, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like putting a power plant on the moon and saying, okay, we need power in Mexico, and your power plant's on the moon. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much power you have if you can't use it. And that's the thing that I was trying to get across to a lot of these individuals who were furiously defending the ISD as if it was the biggest, baddest thing in space. In the Star Wars universe, it absolutely is, and I love it for that. I love the ship for that. But when you take it out of the Star Wars universe, it's not. It is not the biggest and baddest thing. And that's just reality. That's just the reality of the situation. I would like to say that it is, but it's not. And often people will then point to things like the Death Star and how ahead their technology actually was, because they had the Death Star and these massive super weapons. And you know what? There's a counter for that too. Guess what they had in Star Trek before the Next Generation, way back when they were just getting into warp travel? In the Star Trek universe, they had super weapons. They weren't the size of moons. They were only about a kilometer in diameter, and they could do the same thing that the Death Star could. I mean, all you got to do is look at the original series, Enterprise. Well, not the original series, but the series based on the original, which is Enterprise. All you got to do is look at that TV series and look at the whole one season where they spent talking about the Xindi probe, or the Xindi weapon. That thing was a kilometer in size. Actually, the test ship was much, much smaller, but the test ship, only cut a swath. The full ship was basically like a Death Star. It was designed to destroy the planet, rather than just cut a hole in it or cut a trench in it. But it was only a kilometer in size. 1 kilometer. It wasn't a size of a moon. It was 1 kilometer. So when you want to talk about technology differences, there's one right there. Star Trek technology was well beyond Star Wars technology. There's no denying it. You can't deny it. Only a fool would even bother denying it, or trying to deny it. And like I said, I love Star Wars. I like Star Wars more than Star Trek, but there's reality you have to face. It's called reality, people. You can like something all you want, but that doesn't change the fact that it's outmatched. Now, with that said, do I agree that the ISD could pummel the shit out of the Enterprise or a Galaxy-class starship if they were face-to-face, nose-to-nose? Absolutely. The ISD had a ridiculous amount of firepower, and it could totally obliterate the Galaxy-class starship if the Galaxy-class starship was stupid enough to get into a position where the ISD could put that power to use. And again, that's what I say. I said, it doesn't matter how much power you have. If you can't use it, it's no good. So, if the captain of this Galaxy-class starship was absolutely stupid enough to allow his ship to get into a range where the ISD could use their firepower, then 100% that the Galaxy-class starship would be outmatched, outgunned, and absolutely obliterated. There's no question. No question at all. But that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. In an actual test, that doesn't happen. The ISD is too slow. It can't use hyperdrive to do a quick jump to catch up. You know, it's too slow. Hyperdrive is not designed to do that. It's not designed for short travel like that. So they can't use their hyperdrive to catch up. Their ion engines are far too slow to be any kind of a match for the Enterprise or a Federation Galaxy class starship. I say Enterprise just because it's easier than constantly saying Federation Galaxy class starship. So please excuse me on that. But anyway, that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to, folks. It comes down to speed, maneuverability, and who has control of the fight. And in 100% of the tests that were actually realistic, the Enterprise always had control of the fight. It always had control. There was no way that the ISD could outflank it, outmaneuver it, and get it within guns range. It just didn't happen. TIE fighters were useless. TIE interceptors were useless. They were all destroyed practically instantly. In fact, in my final test, which is the one I put online, I said, you know what, I got to give them a little more quote-unquote screen time because people are going to cry foul if I go ultra realistic and just have them obliterated before they even get to the Enterprise. So I said, okay, I'm going to let them get there. I'm going to let them buzz around it for a little bit, and then we'll take them out. Instead of just saying, okay, we're just going to pew 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 them at long range, and then you know they wouldn't even make it there. I had a feeling there would be more people crying foul at that point. Not that there weren't people crying foul, just for the outcome. Period. But you know, there's a lot of diehard Star Wars fans out there who just can't. I mean, I like Star Wars too, but you have to face the facts. There's facts. You have to face the facts. And it's almost like politics. It's almost like politics where people will kind of ignore what their candidate does because they hate the other guy so much more. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, I hate the conservatives, or oh, I hate the liberals. And meanwhile, you're not watching your own side. You're not watching the shit that your side is doing. You just don't like the other side, and you think your side is better, you know. And that's not a basis for scientific testing. That's a basis for idiot testing. If you want to be totally and completely honest, that's a basis for coming up with bad testing and false information. Like some of the videos I've seen that have done this battle. They're like, oh, okay, well we're gonna put these up against each other, but we're not gonna take into account any of the doctrine. We're not gonna take into account any of the training. We're not gonna take into account this, that, something else, and then they wonder why one side wins and the other side loses. It's like, oh, well, the side I like won. Well, of course it did. You handicapped the shit out of the other side until they lost. That's not a fair test. That's like that's just fan service. And I said to myself, I said that's not what I'm going to be doing with my video. I said that is definitely not what I'm going to be doing with my video. With my video, I'm going to take everything into account. I'm going to take their doctrines into account. I'm going to take their technologies into account. I'm going to take their training into account, what we know of their training. I'm going to take all of that into account, and then I'm going to see who comes out on top. And even I didn't know at the start who would come out on top. I honestly didn't. 100% word of God, truth be told, I had no idea which way it was going to go. I did not. I had suspicions, especially when I started putting numbers together. I had suspicions of the way it was going to go, but I had no clue which way it was going to go. I only learned at the very end when I was like, oh, okay, well, I see how that could happen. when I reached the end and it was the ISD going down, and the Enterprise basically wasn't doing anything except shooting at it from long range. I was like, oh well, okay. I was kind of as disappointed as everybody else. I'm guessing at that point because I was expecting, the huge battle that all these other videos had been showing me of the Enterprise facing off and firing torpedoes and the ISD firing back with everything it's got, and these massive space battle where everything's blowing up and exploding everywhere. And I had I had high expectations of that. That's what was actually going to happen, but it didn't. It didn't. When you put the two of the ships together, that didn't happen. When you took into account everything you should take into account, it didn't happen. Starfleet doctrine of showing up at a distance, approaching something at a distance, scanning things before getting involved with them. All of that stuff basically put the ISD at a disadvantage right from the start. Right from the start. There was no recovering because they controlled the, I'm not going to say engagement because it didn't start out as an engagement, but they controlled the situation. They controlled the encounter right from the first moment they showed up. Chromatic metal and dihydrogen. Chromatic metal. There's dihydrogen. Chromatic metal. So yeah, when they arrived at the scene, I put them even closer than I thought they should have been. I had them show up around 50,000 kilometers from the ISD, and I don't even think they would have been that close. Because in every other basic show where they drop out of warp and they're approaching something, they approach from quite a far distance, much farther than that. In fact, somebody commented the Dyson sphere, how they were almost on top of it, but actually, when you look at when you watch that episode again, they didn't hit the gravity well of the Dyson sphere until they dropped out of warp. And then when they dropped out of warp and they put it on the screen, the sphere was tiny on the screen. And I remind you, that sphere is the size of that sphere is the size of our orbit around our sun. That's how big that sphere is. It's unbelievably, unimaginably big. And it was just a tiny circle on the screen. That's how far away they were from it. They weren't thousands of kilometers from it. They were millions to billions of kilometers away from it. Actually, I wouldn't even say millions to billions. They were probably even farther than that. They were probably an astronomical unit or two. They were probably an AU or two away from the thing. That's how far they were away from that object, which they were like, oh, well, we've detected something. Okay, drop us out of warp. And that's where they dropped out of warp. And they hadn't even detected the sphere at that point. The sphere, it was so unknown to them that they hadn't even been scanning for it. They hadn't detected it. What they detected was a homing signal from the sphere. And that's how far they dropped out of warp. Way back there. So, for me to put the ISD within 50,000 kilometers of the Enterprise when they dropped out of warp was actually a benefit to the ISD. It wasn't knocking the ISD at all or handicapping the ISD at all. That was actually a benefit to them, making them drop out of warp that close. Like, that's combat distance. That's not investigative distance. That's combat distance for that ship, for the Federation ship. So there was a lot of balancing, obviously, that I had to do. There was a lot of, and it wasn't unrealistic balancing. It was just okay. If I have them drop out of warp way the fuck back here, then they have no chance at all. There's gonna be nothing between them. There's not even gonna be an encounter because they're gonna drop out of warp so far away. And by the time they even get anywhere near this thing, they're gonna have it all figured out. They're gonna know exactly what to do. They're gonna, everything's gonna be. No TIE fighters will be launched because they're so far away. Like, it just would have been so boring at that point that there would have been no point of even running the test. I would just say, you know what, this test didn't even get run because there was no point to run it. But yeah, to say I was disappointed in the test would be kind of an understatement. I was actually really disappointed in the test. I thought it was going to be more action packed, and I almost didn't make the video because of that. I thought it was going to be more action packed. It turned out to be just one ship staring at another from a long distance and reaching out and touching it with its laser or with its phaser. And it was really kind of dull. It was really kind of dull. I wanted it to be more exciting than that, but it didn't. That didn't turn out that way. So instead of not making the video, I made the video anyway. And like I said, there's people who have taken issue with what they saw in the video, and I understand that. There's going to be, like I said, there's going to be fanboys that just can't get over the fact that their ship lost. And it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't me that made the ship lose. It was the facts. it was the facts. I got nothing against it. I got nothing against the ISD. I got nothing against the Enterprise. I had no investment whatsoever. If it was Babylon 5, yeah, maybe I might have put a little more beefiness into Babylon 5 against that ISD. But you know what? I just threw them at each other and saw what would happen, and that's what happened. You can be as mad as you want over that. That's the facts. So, and I mean, this video was done quite a while ago now, but still, I still have people posting on it, and they're just, even after I've explained things, even after I've explained stuff, I'm like, okay, this is why this happened. This is why this happened. Even after explaining it, I even made a post, like a one comment that shows at the top that specifically says, okay, folks, here's the most common arguments, and this is why they don't pan out. And still, people are still, oh, they could have, they could have done this, they could have done that, or you were biased, and I'm like, yeah, show me how. Prove it. You can't just sit there and say, oh, you're biased. You got to prove it. You make the claim, you got to back it up. If you're going to come at me and say I'm biased, you're going to have to back that up. Otherwise, you're just you being a fanboy and butthurt over the outcome. Okay, so we have our we now have our dear fuck, what the hell's it called? Starts with an M. I know what you are. But what are you? Minotaur. Good God, I knew that. So we have our Minotaur. We're getting dusted right now. We have our Minotaur. We do have the Minotaur cannon and the Minotaur laser on it. We don't have the advanced laser or any of the other technology on it as of yet, because we are missing components. For this guy, we're missing the Gravino balls, which we are growing, so that's going to be fine. For this guy, we're missing the acid, which we can't make yet. And this guy, we would need the storm crystals, which we also need for the other ones, so, it'd be nice. But, yeah. That's where we're at for that. But anyway, we're almost at the 3-hour mark here, so I'm going to bring an end to this this episode, and we will consider this first episode down. I don't know why I got into that Star Trek versus Star Wars. Well, it wasn't really Star Trek versus Star Wars. It's ISD versus Galaxy class. I don't know why I went into that rant, other than, it's been months and I'm still getting people who just don't get it. They just don't get it. They won't read. They don't apparently read comments, because they're not reading any of the comments, especially mine, that should be right at the top saying, hey, here's the answer to all your arguments that you're about to make. Instead, they just keep making the arguments. So, I don't know. I don't know. I guess you can't fix stupid sometimes. So, um, I should say that they're not stupid. They're just fanning over their favorite medium, and I guess they're so used to hearing from other fans how badass the ISD is and how much it would kick the Galaxy class's ass that they just can't face the reality. But whatever. That's not my concern. That's not my concern. As far as I'm concerned, I did some pretty solid testing. I did some pretty solid testing. Several hours, 5 hours at least, of crunching the numbers, putting them all together, testing different outcomes, testing different approaches, and then deciding which one was the most realistic. And the more realistic I got, the more boring it got. That's just a fact. The more realistic it got, the more boring it got. The ISD is really not designed to take on a Galaxy-class starship. It's not. It's not. And it's not because it's not powerful, it's just because it doesn't come from the same universe. It doesn't come from the same technological background. It doesn't face the same challenges. So it's not designed to handle, it's not designed to handle that. Whereon, unfortunately, on the other side of the fence, ion-powered engines are known in the Star Trek universe. Plasma weaponry is known in the Star Trek universe. They have defenses against those. So even though the ISD really didn't get the fire, even if it did fire, it would, the Galaxy-class starship would still have a chance to defend itself because it has faced that kind of technology. It is built to handle that kind of technology. So it would still have a chance. It would still have a chance. If they were nose to nose, a couple hundred kilometers apart, it would probably get pummeled. But that's not how the encounter goes. That's not how a realistic encounter would happen. So anyway, moving on. I think we beat that into the dirt. I just get tired of hearing about it. I made a good video and a lot of people like it, but there's so many out there that are just butthurt over it. I don't get it. But I mean, if you feel that way, make your own test. Do your own testing. Just do the testing properly. Do the testing properly. Do it like a fan of both series would do it, or do it as a fan of no series would do it. Don't do it as a fan of Star Wars. Don't do it as a fan of Star Trek. Either do it as a fan of both series, or do it as a fan of neither series. Don't give anybody bias. If you go into it with bias, your side's going to win. Obviously. So, and that's what usually happens. Because usually the people that do that video, that matchup, are themselves Star Wars fans. The couple of videos that I've seen that have grown in popularity were done by Star Wars fans. And they have the ISD winning, and right at the start of the video, they're like, we're not taking doctrine into account, we're not taking, plot armor into account, which, of course, you don't take plot armor into account, but you still have to take the training of that person. Like, you're not going to put Jean-Luc Picard on the bridge of the Enterprise, but you are going to put a Starfleet captain on the bridge of the Enterprise who is trained like Jean-Luc Picard. So, I mean, your excuse of plot armor is weak, very weak, when you say, okay, we're not taking any doctrine into account because of plot armor. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. You've automatically said your test is invalid, and the outcome is bias, because you're not taking into account the things that actually matter in combat. If you were to ask anybody in combat, if you were to go and ask someone in combat, you know, especially back when the battleships were running the seas. Like not today's combat, which is like joystick and push button. Not today's combat where you can send a drone downwind and you're sitting, you know, nice and safe in a little box. I'm talking combat where combat actually mattered. You know, where ships would face off against each other, you know, and be firing directly on each other. That kind of combat. You go and ask anybody who was in that kind of combat what mattered most. Was it your weapons or was it your tactics? And I guarantee you 100%, everybody's going to say tactics. Your tactics, your training, those two things matter the most in combat. Tactics and training. If you don't have the proper training, if you don't have the proper tactics, it doesn't matter what gun you have in your hand, you're going to get your ass handed to you. That's facts. That's facts. Tactics and training are the biggies when it comes to combat on that level. And we usually see that. I mean, that's just common sense. That's why there's so much training. That's why there are naval schools that specifically train tactics, command, making command decisions, that kind of stuff. Because if you don't have that, and even in the Star Wars universe and the Star Trek universe, they have those. They have the Starfleet Academy, teaches all of that stuff. And then you have the Imperial Academy, which also teaches all that stuff. It teaches you how to be a captain, teaches you how to command, teaches you this, that, and something else. And that's the way it is. That's why there's academies and in these two universes, because you need training. It's not just training on how to use something, it's training on how to think in combat, training on how to think as a commander, training on how to think as a captain. So to instantly say we're going to take doctrine and training off the table is just ludicrous in this kind of test. And that is specifically one of the videos that I referenced. One of them, they actually said that we're going to take tactics and training off the table, and it's just going to be numbers. Well, yeah, if you put the numbers together, if you put the numbers side by side, you throw out tactics, training, and you kind of ignore the technology and how the technology works, then yeah, you're going to have the ISD winning hands down every time, because the numbers are just stupid out of range. They're really ridiculously high. But if you take everything else into account, especially technology, now I'm not talking numbers, I'm talking how the technology works, which is exactly how I explained it, like how the phaser beam is like a straw of energy that has these subatomic particles traveling down it, and how the subatomic particles work against shields, how they work against hull. You got to take all that into account, otherwise you're just throwing numbers and hoping that your side comes out on top. You got to take everything into account. You can't just take a little section of the battle into account. You can't say, oh, my ship wins because it has a bigger reactor. That's not how life works, people. That's not how life works. How many nuclear submarines are on the sea floor? Guess what put them there? Sure as hell wasn't a nuclear powered sea vessel. They were probably diesel powered. They might have even been coal powered. And the reason they're on the bottom of the water is because they had bombs dropped on them. Like, anyway. End rant. End video. We're moving on. So that's going to be the end of this video. Sorry I took you on a rant there. But no, it's just I'm still getting feedback on this video from people who just they keep saying the same thing, and I'm tired of reading it. I'm tired of reading it. You know, do the test yourself. Take all the facts that I've given you, go do the test yourself. That's all I got to say to them. But anyways, it's just something that's getting on my nerves. So that's gonna be it. Next episode, less Star Wars, Star Trek. I got it all out in this episode, so you can feel grateful for that, I guess. And then next episode, We can start off fresh. Start off fresh. I don't know what we're doing next episode. I really want to get the remaining stuff done for the Minotaur. I want to get the laser installed, which we can as soon as we get some Gravino balls from our grow station over there. And this guy, if we can find some acid, we can do this, the self-greasing service, which will help with fuel burn. So that'll be a good thing. I'm kind of surprised. I thought there was going to be more here for the Minotaur. I was actually certain there was going to be more here for the Minotaur, but I guess I don't have... Either haven't picked up the stuff for it yet, or... Oh, there's also bonuses, there's also bonuses to the laser and stuff. That's what I'm thinking. You get them on space stations. That's what I'm thinking. You don't build them yourself. You just get them on space stations, or pick them up other ways. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this episode. Welcome back. Welcome back to No Man's Sky. It's been a hell of an episode and a hell of a rant. But okay, people, you can stop commenting on my Galaxy Class versus ISD video. You can stop it. We're done. The discussion is done. The ISD loses. I don't like it any more than you do, but that's a reality. Get over it. This is Jodian signing off. Take care, everybody, and have a good one. Bye-bye now.
Bye.